Okay, so today we're going to be looking at what do we do with trusses that have different slopes. There's two different main types we're going to look at. We're going to look at a standard dual slope truss and then a porch truss as a double slope on a single side of it. We'll start out with a standard dual slope truss. And what that is it's a truss where one side is steeper than the other, like this. So let's say that we have a 9/12 slope on this side and a 3/12 slope on this side and a span of 42 feet. I want to know what the height of it is. I'm going to call this distance here X from this end of the truss to that peak. This distance here I'm going to call Y. And I want to know what X and Y are, and H. Anybody? Any ideas? Okay. What we have to do is we have to find something that we know is going to be the same. When we have dual slopes, the key is you start at each corner. You know that the height here and the height here are the same, right? You also know the height of the peak is the same no matter which direction you come from. So, in other words, this H here is the same no matter which direction you come from. We know that coming from this side of the truss, the slope is 9/12, and H would be the vertical and X would be the horizontal. Correct? We know that coming from the other side of the bar, the slope would, or other side of the truss, I don't know where bar came from. So it's a 3/12 slope, and it'll be H over Y would be the run on that side. We can now use this to create equations that we can find to solve this. On this side here, we got 9 times X, which is 9X, 12 times H. We're cross multiplying. We're putting the cross products equal to each other. So 12H equals 9X. We can solve for X by dividing by 9 to get 1 1/3 H equals X. Everybody see where that 1 1/3 H equals X came from? Do the same over here. 3 times Y is 3Y. 12 times H is 12H. So we now have 12H equals 3Y. Divide by 3. 4H equals Y. Well, that in itself is not going to get us anywhere. But there's another relationship between X and Y that we know here. X plus Y has to be 42. And last semester, I know you guys covered solving systems of equations, correct? No? Yeah, you did. You don't know how to do it? Okay, well, right now we have 3 equations with 3 variables. But we're going to use this X plus Y equals 42 as our main equation. We're going to put in, instead of X, we're going to put in 1/3 H, 1 1/3 H. Instead of Y, we're going to put in 4H equals 42. So now we can combine. 1 1/3 plus 4 is 5 1/3 H equals 42. And now divide by 5 1/3. So 42 divided by 5 1/3. 7.875, or 7 7/8. So what does that tell us? What's that? That's the height, 7 7/8 feet, or 7 feet 10.5 inches. I don't expect you guys to have the feet to inches things memorized down to the 8th, but that's 10.5 inches, 7/8. So yeah, the height is 7 feet and 7/8 feet. We can use that now up here because x is 1 1/3 times h. So 7 7/8 times 1 1/3 gives us 10.5. So x is 10.5 feet. 10.5 feet. Y is 4 times h, so that'll be 4 times 7 7/8 equals y. So that ends up being 31.5 feet for y. So coming up here, x is 10 foot 6 inches. Y is 31 feet 6 inches. H we said was 7 feet 10.5 inches. What do y'all think? Good stuff? Well, let's give you guys a little test then. We're going to call this a 412 slope. This here is going to be a 1612 slope. We're going to have a span of 40 feet. Find h, x, and y. I'll pause this so you guys can work. Well, let's see how you're doing. We'll give it a shot. So we have the 16 and 12 slope with an, what's it going to match up with? H over x. Okay. We'll go ahead and cross multiply that one. So we got 12h and 16x. Oops, x. So 12h equals 16x, dividing by 16, 3/4 h equals x. There's one of them. Did you get the other side? So we got 412 equals h over y. Cross multiply, we got 12h again and 4y. 12h equals 4y, which gives us 3h. 3h equals y. And what else do we know? It is algebra. X plus y equals 40. And from there, we can fill in the 3/4 h for x. Y, we fill in 3h. Oops, and that equals 40. So we have 3 3/4. H equals 40. Dividing by 3 3/4. What do you get? 10 foot 8 inches. Good. 10 2/3. So then, h is 3 times that, or y, sorry, is 3 times that. So 3 times 10 2/3 is going to be 32 equals y, which means x equals 8. You got them? Okay. Well, here's a challenge for you. Let's do a 12-12 slope over here, a 4-12 slope over here. X and Y. I'm going to pause here to come up with some good. What do we have? I'm going to have you find the height and X and Y again in this one, where we have a heel on each side. 24-inch heel here, 8-inch heel here, 12-12 and 4-12 slopes, X and Y, a total span of 42. See what you come up with. Here, how about I walk you guys through this one? This was kind of cruel. No, you want to try it? Okay, we'll pause. Record this. So we define that to be A. You know, H is equal to A plus 24 inches, so it'll be 24 over 12. H equals A plus 2. Define this to be B here. So H is equal to B plus 8 inches, so 8 over 12. Or H is equal to B plus 2/3. So you have those for H. How on earth do they help us? Well, we know that A and X combine to make 12 over 12. 12 over 12 equals A over X. Cross multiplying, 12A equals 12X. In other words, A equals X. I'm going to just assume you guys can handle dividing out the 12s, right? No? Okay. From the other side, we have 4 over 12 equals B over Y. Cross multiplying, 12B equals 4Y, or giving us that 12B equals 4Y. Dividing by 4, 3B equals Y, or Y equals 3B. So now, we know that X plus Y equals 42, which means A plus 3B equals 42, because X is A and Y is 3B. Now we go back to these. We're going to define A in terms of H. We're going to subtract 2 from each side. A is equal to H minus 2, correct? So this is H minus 2. B, we're going to subtract 2. What's that? What's that?
Where did you get the 2 from?
That's 24 inches, so it's 2 feet.
Oh, okay.
Then H is B plus 2/3, and the 2/3 is 8 inches, so 2/3 of a foot.
Foil this?
Nope.
No.
So
That's
3.
what I did.
You were trying to FOIL it? So anyway, so that's 3 times B is H minus 2/3 equals 42. So now we can solve this for H. It's just a linear equation. This is still H minus 2. Here we have to do the distributing. So 3 times H is 3H. 3 times 2/3 is or negative 2/3 is a negative 2. H and 3H make 4H. Negative 2 and negative 2 make negative 4 equals 42. Adding 4H, equals 46. Dividing by 4. Hello. So dividing by 4. H equals 11.5. Which means X equals what? Well, A equals H minus 2, right? So that's 9.5. So X is 9.5. B equals H minus 2/3. H minus 2/3 would be 10 and 5/6 times 3 gives us Y, right? So that's 32.5. Y. See how simple that is?
Can you scroll up so I can make those?
Yeah, I will. We're how far? Right there? Go further. Okay. How was this? We're going to end the suffering. I'm going to have you do problems number 67 through 71 in the package. We'll go over them more tomorrow, but I realize most of you don't have done up through number 66 yet as well, so hopefully you'll get some time to finish those up too.